Alright, so let's do something different today. Let's see, because I'm trying to set my mic up and they give me a hard time because the dogs are kind of in the way. I see, it's like every time you try to do something and then the dogs are like barking and then they actually got recorded into it, which is so annoying. I know, but first of all, hey Cal, let's why don't you just introduce yourself really brief? What should I say? Just, introduction, the typical kind of introduction you give in any kind of setting. You just keep it simple, like no need to be nervous about. I don't think I'm nervous. I just think I'm not quite in a state like to record a podcast. I know you said it's not really necessarily a podcast. It's more like a self-talk kind of thing. Yeah, I'd say it's like a self-talk, but it's also my journal and my own personal space. I kind of, just talk about anything on my mind, or I use it to be a personal journal. It's a voice journal instead of the traditional written kind of journal, Yeah. And it's also I use a space for letters, for writing voice letters to others. So it's a meaningful, my private little space. But since I have you today here, it's a special episode or special entry, more accurately. I see. All right. So, are there actually people listening to it? Yeah, there are a few people. I don't know who, but whoever. I think on Apple Podcast. I haven't gone to the creator's background. What do you call that? I think you call that creator's background. No, it's not. It's not background. It's something else. Yeah, it's something else. What's that thing called? I think it's just called creators panel. No, it's called creators. Apple Podcast creators. I don't know. Space? I'm losing my mind. Me too. So we should blame each other. Like, we couldn't think of the term. We're like stuck on the thing for ages. No, not exactly, but yeah, I'm being stuck on. Okay, never mind. What was I talking about? You were saying like on Apple Podcasts, you haven't checked, the. I think it's called Studio. Well, on YouTube it's called Studio. It's called YouTube Studio. Yeah, that's it. And then on Apple Podcasts, I think it's called Creators. It's just called Creators. And then on Spotify, which is my main host platform, it's called what is it? Spotify's for Creators. Yeah, I think they changed the name recently, which is more confusing now. I don't even remember. I thought it's used to call Anchor at some point, and they changed it to Apple. Oh, I mean Spotify Creators. Spotify for creators, something like that, and they changed the name again recently. Yeah, they did. Yeah, I mean, so on Apple Podcast. I don't know the data is like, but on I think it's called, what is it? Oh, the Himalaya platform got a few subscribers up there, and for YouTube Studio, I have my show. I mean, I have my podcast show set on unlisted, so only the ones that I share with, only they can listen to and no one else. And then what's the other? Oh, on Spotify itself, I have no clue, no idea who else is, because I never really bothered, checking the background and the creators section for the listening data and subscribing data, that sort of thing, You just don't really mind like who listens to it, who don't.
I guess not. Okay, so I was thinking about, we were talking about introducing yourself, and it ended up for me like rambling about my podcast data kind of thing, which is insane.
Alright, so I just gotta introduce myself real quick. So I'm Calvin, and what's my last name?
Asking me what's your last name? You should know your last name by now.
Alright, so I'm Calvin, and I'm 10 years old. I'm almost 11. I thought I should say my last name.
It's up to you. I mean, you can say or not. It's not an issue, you know? Doesn't really matter.
Alright, let's be serious now, because I think, well, last night I didn't really sleep, so this morning I was in a very strange mood, and I have a slight headache.
Yeah, it's not easy. How you feeling now?
I'm feeling a lot better. Otherwise, I wouldn't be up here and just acting so silly.
I see. Alright, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm Calvin Fabrizio. It's actually, well, the American pronounce it Fabrizio, but I actually like it Fabrizio because it's Italian.
It's Italian. That's really cool. I recognize that.
Yeah, it's Calvin Oxler Fabrizio. It's my full name. People usually call me by Cal. Well, the people that know me well, and of course my family, they call me Cal. And then for others, just call me Calvin. Sometimes my dad would call me Oxler. I don't know why.
That's interesting. He calls you by your middle name?
Yeah, I mean, he is funny because he likes to call Chelsea by her middle name at times, and he likes to call me and Colton, but he never bothered with Ruby's middle name for some reason. I don't know why. He probably favors Ruby. That's just my guess.
Or assumption.
I see. Okay, so I said I'm 10, right?
Yeah, I did say your name and your age and what you're doing. I mean, what's your grade?
My grade, I'm 4th grade. I think I'm like almost 5th. But my family does homeschooling, but we're not actually doing a traditional homeschool, which is like just gonna be all of us, like the kids. So we're actually doing what is it called? It's a combined homeschool where several families get together and study together. We have now 5 families. We used to have 7 last year, but 2 of them left because they moved out of Texas, and they're no longer here. So we're now we're now having 5 families.
That's really cool. So who are the teachers? Like the staff, and who teaches what?
So my mom teaches math because he's a math brilliant. No, she is, because I was thinking about Mr. John's what's his last name? I think it was Mr. Nolan, and I got confused with him because he also teaches math, but he teaches the 3rd graders, and my mom does the 5th graders.
That's really cool. So they teach the same math, or like geometry and that kind of stuff? Or...
Well, we're not there yet.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was thinking about like the high school and the middle school.
That's fine because you got confused, and yeah, we're not there yet. So almost there.
That's funny.
Alright, so let's continue. Yeah, my mom teaches math, and I think the Greensfield family, their dad is our literature teacher, and we have like a PE person, and fine art teacher. Yeah, we pretty much have all the classes matching. Matching the, what is it called?
Extracurricular? No, the general ed.
Yeah, the general ed, the general education curriculum. I never can say that well because I get just tangled up by the syllables and the pronoun. I don't know, it's a lot of words.
I see. All right. So, how do you like homeschool?
I think it's quite meaningful, especially for me and for Colton, because Colton is autistic and ADHD.
Yeah.
And for me, I don't have autism, but I still prefer like a quiet learning space, and it's also self-paced, so we can just learn, complete our work, and just you set your own goal each day. Like the morning, first thing you come, it's like you set your goal for today,
Right.
and that's it. You will finish the goal. At least you try to finish it. If you don't, it's okay. You're not gonna be penalized if you don't. But it's better that like how much work you can achieve for the day. You just set it up and put it on this goal chart. Say math, 5 pages, and you get social studies 5 pages, so on like that. And you have Bible, you have science, you have literature, that kind of thing, and you just focus on your goal, basically. And you do your self-paced work for the morning, and in the afternoon you have the extracurricular classes, which is really fun.
What's your favorite?
My favorite is definitely music and art, because we got to do a lot of fun stuff in both of these classes. Like for music, we're learning this. We're learning about the what is it they call? Oh, like the opera, the musicians, and we're also learning about the history of the medieval music.
Medieval music. That sounds really fun.
I know, I enjoyed it. And we're in soon about the Romantic era, and it's my favorite. What is it called? Like the church, the Gregorian. I never pronounced it right.
I think you did. I don't know. Because I have a hard time remembering all those terms. It's a challenge.
I see. So yeah. And in art, we're doing card making. So each week we will make card. It's not gonna be always card making. We have pottery. We have the embroideries, and we also have knitting. But I think my favorite is always gonna be pottery, because I love doing things with my hands and really hands-on. I also enjoy card making a lot because we can make birthday cards, and also just anything like Christmas card and holiday cards and thank you cards, just whatever. And I really love this so much, and yeah, that's my 2 favorite.
So we're doing card making a lot. That reminds me of my that was over 10 years ago, where I was at the church school back then, and we also had fine art classes. Well, we just had one, I think 1 or 2, and we had Mrs. Brown, who was our teacher, and she was so creative, and she was also very she encouraged us a lot, and she was a quiet person. I think she passed away a few years ago, I'm not sure, but yeah, she was just so encouraging and very bright, and she was quiet most of the time, but whenever she talked, and she just had this very elegant kind of air, like an elegant touch to her. It's not a touch, it's a temperament, and we loved her so much. And yeah, although I couldn't really do the like use a scissor because they would be afraid that I would cut myself, so I had this lady, I think she was the volunteer, and she would help me with anything like glue, gluing those decorations onto the card, and any drawing, just anything visual I couldn't do, and using scissor, it's just fun. But the only regret was that I didn't really get to do much. It was mostly the volunteer did it, and Mrs. Brown, she helped with some of the aspects, but despite that, it was a fun, very enjoyable class, and I got to make a lot of birthday cards. Mostly I gave it to my friends back then, and because later I was at the music art, the traditional Christian art and music center, learning center, or institute. There were a few like the older ladies. Well, not older in the sense of elderly, but older than me, because I was in my early teens and they were in their early 20s or 30s, so on, and I was very fond of them. So I ended up giving them the birthday cards I made back at the church school I was in with Mrs. Brown's class.
That sounds really fun.
I know, I really enjoyed it.
I think both of us, I could talk. I think both of us enjoyed fine art a lot, and we both liked, I think I was thinking about the Enneagram types, and I am a 4.
How can you say that? You're only 10. Like 10 years later, you can probably say in full confidence that you are a 4, like 5, whatever, but you're so young.
I know, but Dallas keep telling me I'm a 4.
I know. I can see that in you, right? Because 10 years ago, I probably say I myself was a 4 back then, and still more 4. I'm a very 4-ish now. Not even ish, it's a 4, period.
I know, because we're both are like romanticists.
I know.
Which is really good, because Colton is a 5 and I'm a 4. Chelsea, I think Chelsea is a 9 because Chelsea doesn't like conflicts at all. She likes to be the mediator in conflicts, and if there are any conflicts at all, well, there definitely are in our family, and she is the peacemaker.
What about Ruby?
Ruby's too young, I don't know. She's definitely outgoing, so she's an E. I think she is an ENFP or ENFJ, something like that. But I couldn't tell because she's only 5.
Yeah.
But I might guess she might have be a 7. As of for now, but she can also be a 3. I hope not, because 3s are like the overachievers. They just burn themselves up. I don't want her to be 3.
I see. So she's the most outgoing person in your family?
Besides my dad, yeah, she is. Both of them are outgoing, for real. Because dad is an ENTP and mom is INFJ.
Your mom is? I thought your mom is an INFP.
No, she's an INFJ. And Chelsea is ISFJ. Colton is INTJ.
How about you?
I'm talking about MBTI now. I didn't think we were talking about MBTI.
Or just anything. It's a very flexible and very spontaneous kind of my style, so no need to thinking about like what I'm talking about now, what I was talking about earlier, it's just anything that pops into your head.
Okay, that makes it easier now. Cause I was like worried, like I just talk about anything here and now, like very in a scattered form. I was worried about that if it's hard for you to do the editing afterwards.
Don't worry about it. Editing is not that hard. It's not gonna be a whole lot editing. It's just gonna be a few and slightly. Even sometimes I don't do any. Just let it be.
That's interesting. Okay, so alright, so Colton is INTJ and I am INFJ and Ruby is an ENFP. But you know, it can change, especially for me and Ruby, because we're the youngest and it's not really determined before you're 18.
I think that's pretty accurate. I think Chelsea is the only one as S in your family.
Yeah, Chelsea is a lonely person. She's the only S in our family. But you know, mom, I think mom is not really in that, not so, like extremely in. She can be a little S at times because you know she has to be the organizer. She has to take care of the household and us, so she can't really be up in her head all the time.
I see. Yeah, because moms, despite of their in nature, they gotta be S at times, and sadly, I mean, not sadly, it's a blessing.
I know it's, well, blessing for like four of us crazy kids and like a spontaneous dad.
I see. That makes her gotta be, you know, practical at times, otherwise not gonna survive.
I know, which is the typical mom, you know.
Yeah.
So what were we talking about?
You were talking about your homeschool.
Oh, okay. So let's get back to the homeschool topic.
It's fine, just take it easy, no worries.
Alright, but we get to have some sort of organization, like some sort of order. We could just like jump here and there and in that crazy fashion.
I see. That's fine. Alright. What'd you get?
Oops. I think I have the dogs locked up so they wouldn't be rambunctious.
Rambunctious.
Rambunctious. Don't laugh at my English.
I'm not. I was like, what's that word again? Rambunctious?
No, I just learned it from Colton because he uses those big words all the time. I'm like, Colton, can you talk like can you use human words? And he would be like, I'm using human words. It's that you don't understand. You're dumb, and you couldn't blame Smarties. I'm like, whoa, calm down. We're not being like, I know you're the intellect in our house, but can you just be more considerate? Like a little considerate. Like we don't have your intelligence, at least in that extreme form. So can you just lower your standard a little bit and using simpler words? And then I guess he was staring at us like we're a bunch of idiots.
That's funny. So he teaches you all those big words.
A lot of them, yeah, and some of them are taught by the other kids in our learning center, and a few of them have Colton kind of smarty style, but not in the autistic form.
Yeah, that's understandable. So, what about your homeschool?
I enjoyed it. Yeah, at times it can be hard because you know Colton is having a lot of attention span problem, and you know we have two dogs that belongs to the Fitzgerald couples. They are the household people.
They host you.
Yeah, they host all of us and they provide this learning space for all of us, which is so much of blessing. And we share this living room. Well, we probably shouldn't call this a living room, because a study room, and then it's quite a spacey, so we're not really you know, like tightly sitting close to each other. We have our own study space, and we have this desks that have this I think it's a blocker. What do you call that? It's a blocking thingy. I don't know the term for it. Colton probably laugh at me by now because like, why every time say thingy? Like, can't you just think of the word? I'm like, Colton, can you calm down? I mean, I was trying to think because when you just laugh smirking at me like that, it blocks my sense, and my brain's like foggy all of a sudden. I couldn't really think of anything. He's just making us all look dumb and bad. I mean, all look like idiots and dummies, and he's the one that knows everything. He's the one that is the smartest among all. I don't like that at all, but it's just him, and I think I get to accept that.
That's very accepting of you already. I mean, having a brother, having like autistic challenges, it's no easy thing at all. No easy thing. I couldn't talk. Times my tongues just get swirled up and all in the knots.
Yeah, your tongue got in knots.
Yeah.
So back to the topic. The subject. We have our own learning space and we set our own goals. Yeah, I kind of introduced our learning style, which is everything self-paced. And we have how many kids now? I have 20. So it's not yet a madhouse, but sometimes it can be pretty chaotic. Just depends on the day and everybody's moods. But most of the time it's quite ordered and everybody behaves themselves, and we don't have to use the rulers to spank anybody. Especially for the younger ones, because sometimes they come into school in a in a mood, and I think they have a hard time. But we're the upper school folks. So we're not even, we're not the up school, we're in the middle school area. For the upper school it would be the 15s and 16, 17, those students, and the younger school would be from like the ABC class, which is kind of in kindergarten age. Well, a little bit older than that, from 5 to 7, I think, and then from 8 to 12, or I don't remember because they kind of changed it a little bit. So roughly from 8 to 12, 8 years old. From age 8 to 12 would be in the middle, considered the middle school. Not the junior high, but the middle, right in the middle, kind of middle school.
Yeah, I get it. So it's the younger school would be the the kindergartners and the elementary nurse. No, elementary nurse. I just made it up.
Yeah, I do that too. It's fun.
Yeah, see. So it would be the early graders, right? From like first grade to third grade.
Yeah, third grade, and then from fourth grade to 7th grade, it would be the middle schoolers, and the 8th grade to 12. Yeah, 9th grade to 12. We kind of divide differently than the traditional dividing, which is like the primary school, the the junior high and the high school. We don't have that strict of a dividing system. We're a little different, but at the same time, we're kind of the same.
Yeah.
So the younger school, I sometimes hear them screaming because we have 3 floors, 3 stories. The ABC class, they're in the first floor, and we're in the second floor, and then the upper school on the 3rd floor. And at times you can hear like the younger kids screaming because they just didn't want to come to school, or they were throwing a fit for whatever reason, they got in a fight with each other, just anything. And then I sometimes just having a hard time concentrating on my work because yeah, I mean, I can wear headphones and like, earplugs, but at the same time I can't hear the teachers talking very well, so I just gonna have to put up with the little kids and just, it's hard, but most of the time it's fine. But for Colton, he's having much of a harder time because he he struggles to concentrate, and if like the younger kids are so loud and misbehaving, he would scream and he would like pounding on the desk and just in a very frustrating mood, and the staff having a hard time like trying to calm him down because the dogs can get crazy with if the little kids are wild down there, and then the dogs are wild, and then Colton was in a mood. Oh gosh, it's just a whole mess. I know it's hard.
I see. So, do you think he's getting better with trying to regulate his moods and as he's aging, is he doing better than when he was younger, or do you think he's probably acting about the same?
Well, I think he is, generally speaking, he's doing better. Definitely better than when he was, I don't know, like 35 years ago. Because I had some memory when he was at home and he would totally have a meltdown because he had no control over his mood, and just anything would come out his mouth, and he would creating this whole chaos at home. And at school it was even worse because the principal had to call dad to school, like in his office a lot, because Colton was either hurting someone else or hurting himself. He's like punching on a wall. He was throwing a fit during the class, just anything you can think of. And then it's not like he was doing all that stuff on purpose. It's not at all. Well, not at all like that, but he just couldn't help himself because he has this autistic traits in him, and he has no control of that the medication he takes would help some, but not a lot. And if he takes too much, like rely too much on the medication, it's gonna create a whole lot of side effects that it's gonna affect his whole life, on a long-term span. And dad was, talking with his doctor a lot before, and trying to figure out some plan that Colton would have to take medication, but at the same time it's not gonna be excessive medication which cause him to lots of horrible side effects in the future. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I totally get it. It's such very challenging to have a child with autism and struggle a lot at home and at school, and it's very hard for the parents.
Yeah, it's hard for dad and mom. Yeah, all of us, we struggle to different degrees with his autistic traits, but he is now 14 and he's doing a lot better than before. He can regulate his mood to some extent. If the environment is just a little chaotic, not horribly out of control, he is okay, and he can just because we have a small room next to our study space, that anytime he needs to just calm down, he needs to decompress, he go in there and just close the door and take a few deep breaths, and there's like a cozy bed in there and some fuzzy pillows and warm blankets. He can just use them and there's some I think there's a yoga ball in there. I don't know, I haven't been there for ages because we usually don't go in there. That's just his space. It's designated for him.
Wow, that's very considerate. Who came up with that idea?
I think it was Mrs. Fitzgerald. She she's really this loving and compassionate person. He understands Colton has a struggle. I think she has a nephew or a niece, I couldn't remember, that also has autism, so she can understand what he is struggling to some extent. I don't think they have the same type of autism, but it's still autism. So Mrs. Fitzgerald would she came up with the idea of having a room just for Colton, and then she got those toys or the beddings from some kind of store, or she bought it from her own home, and she just let Colton use it. I think it's very loving and considerate.
Yeah, I'm very impressed because not all everybody understand what kind of struggle, the detail, like the day-to-day challenges that the autistic individuals face, and also their families struggle on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, I'm very impressed by Mrs. Gerald. She seems to be a very kind and very loving person.
Indeed, she is. So yeah, she has this room so Colton can just rest in there. I think it really helped him just to decompress and be ready for the real world. I didn't know how to put that. I guess be ready for the noisy, chaotic outer world. So yeah, he, for the early years, like we just moved into this learning space, the house.
Yeah.
Colton really ended up in the decompressing room a lot because he just struggles with the new environment and the new people and everything else. But as time passes, he just getting better and improving internally and externally. So he needs that room less and less, but he still needs it time to time. At first it would be every day, maybe 15 to 30 minutes in there, and then now he only needs about 5 to 10 minutes, and it's just it could be every other day or just once a week. So I think, yeah, I'm very thankful. Dad also mentioned that he also thinks that Colton is doing better. He is improving in many ways, and just coping with the emotions and regulating himself, behaviorize, and anything. So it's a lot of ways. He has come a long way ever since we moved into this learning space.
Yeah, I see that. It's very good. Yeah, I'm very thankful for the improvements. So, you're where have you been? Like, I heard you were in Hawaii in the past few weeks. How was that?
It was a lot of fun. It was like a family gathering. It was very relaxed, but it was also full of fun stuff we did. We were in Honolulu for pretty much the whole time because grandma lives there, and we were primarily up there to visit her because she's getting old and she's having some health challenges. So mom was thinking of why don't we just visit grandma, and it was very fun and loving, cozy time up there. I didn't want to come back. I just wanted to stay with grandma.
I know it's always fun with the grandparents, aren't it?
Yeah, because they spoil us a lot. Like we were showered by hugs and kisses and lots of sweets, and I know it's crazy. Um, she is very caring, and she's just loving person from my memory, like when I was younger, from what I knew of her. Though we live in different states and we didn't really visit each other that long, it's just every year, few weeks spent together. It used to be grandma coming to us, but now she's getting old and she has like arthritis problems, and she just would much prefer staying in a warmer zone, like Hawaii. And we, instead of she coming to us, it's now we going to her. It has been this way for I think 3 years now. We started to visit her ever since 2022. Yeah, we did that, and because of COVID, we didn't visit each other for 2 years, and that was it. But before COVID, we always get together once a year, and then now.
Yeah, it's very fun and very meaningful time spent with grandparents and family member. I was at this party a few days ago, and it was a lot of people, but it's fun time getting together with dogs. And I'm not dog person definitely, but it's very enjoyable with them. And I guess two dogs, and they have each other as playmates. And we talked about a lot of things, and just not getting to the detail because there wasn't too much to talk about. It was mostly a birthday celebration for a teacher of mine. She is turning to 70, so we had like this very fun gathering at a friend's house, and we ate pizza and we had some cake, and my mom cooked this rice noodle dish. It's a Asian, mostly Chinese traditional dish. And we talked and we played some games and played with the crazy dogs. It was enjoyable while you're up there in Hawaii.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so glad we get to finally get together this year, because ever since I miss you a lot, and we didn't have a chance to really recuperate and to finally settle down, because it was a fun trip, but it was also tiresome. Yeah, it was a lot, little exhausted, and I miss you a lot, and then I miss the weather because it was a little bit too warm in Hawaii.
Yeah, I miss you too. I'm very grateful and very happy, joyful that we finally get to meet together, and starting this year together. So yeah, I think we talked a lot today, and how about just end it right here.
Alright, I think I have my energy burned completely, because at first I was like, I didn't know if I can do this today.
See, you did it. Awesome. We both did it, and we had a fun time talking with each other, and just meet and checking with each other,
Yeah, and then touch space with like what have you up to, and what are our plans for the rest of the year. Well, let's see where it goes, because I'm not a goal setting person, and I don't think you are.
Me either. Maybe short-term goal, not long-term.
I see. Yeah. Alright, so that's it. I'm Cal, and it's awesome to share my my crazy family and my life with y'all here and with Dora also.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So that's it. All right. Bye.
See you. Bye.